All right, so today's CPI data came out to be very good, and I will explain why. If you look at this data right here, look at the core CPI. The core CPI month on month is 0.3%, which is a little bit higher than the previous, but the same as forecasted. So this is what the market was already expecting for the core CPI month on month. Look at it right here. But we have the CPI month on month turned out to be 0.2, and the forecast was 0.2, previous was 0.3. So this means that this came out as the market was expecting it to be, however, lower than the previous. Not only that, if you come down a little bit, we have the CPI year over year or year on year. We have this to be the same with the previous, but a little bit lower than the forecast. So this is not what the market was expecting for the year on year. Market was expecting something higher, 2.8%. So this is very important. One thing that is very key here that you must have to pay attention to, especially when it comes to CPI, is that this core CPI is not that important. It's important, but it's not as important as the CPI itself. Why? Because this core CPI is excluding food and energy, and we know that food and energy is one of the key driver of the economy. So if you want to really measure inflation across board, then you must pay attention to energy and food, and that is what the CPI captures. The core CPI does not capture food and energy, and this is very important. So if inflation is maintaining its stand, or let's say inflation is coming down with this year-on-year data that was released few hours ago, then it also means that the United States is experiencing a decline in inflation, and this is very important. So this takes us to Euro USD and USDJPY. And this very price analysis is very important because if you notice this very price action, we took a trade on the Telegram channel. I'm going to show you that quickly. And this is very important because that trade was a loss because we took a sell that was last week at this very area for the market to come back down. Of course, we were in profit. Look at it. USDJPY sell. We have the entry right here. We have the take profit target, the stop loss. Of course, you risk 1% equity and risk what you can afford to lose. So we were in profit 43 pips and running, and market stopped us out because we did not hit target. Now, one thing very important, because we entered that trade around this very area last week for market to come back down. That was my expectation, and it was a just short trade. Why? Because if market dropped this much up to this point, and we have this move upward, market come back down, move upward, and then market shows sign of coming back down, market should have come back down. However, that is not always the case. Despite sometimes you do analysis and market will still go the direction that it wants to go. So in this very case, it was a loss, and the market keep moving into this very area. So if you look at this area, is a very big fair value gap, very important. Big fair value gap on this very price action, and from this very area, market did not really enter into this very point. However, if you do not consider this fair value gap, the next fair value gap that is very important on price action is this very area. Of course, market have touched it before, but this very point, market come into the fair value gap very well, and then now it's coming out. So we can mark this out to be very specific and get a point of significant interest. However, even though the market has already filled it before, so we have this very point, market have not really go above the fair value gap area. And that is why I am very confident right now that the market have capability of moving down, especially into this very area. This is what I am looking at right now on the price of USDJPY. From here, where the market is right now, expect the market to move downward. And of course, if you look at this data again, you discover that this very data is not good for the US dollars, in my opinion. It's not good for the US dollars. It is good for JPY, in as much as it's good for the euro, for Euro USD. So in my opinion, on this very price action, I'm expecting that the market move downward. That is my expectation from price action right now. And this is what you need to pay attention to as well to be in the right direction of the market. So pay attention to market coming back to the downside on the price of USDJPY 4-hour chart. This is very important if you want to be in the right direction of the market. The most important thing here is if this candle right here close bearish, okay, and markets begin to move down a little bit, then the guarantee, in my opinion, that the market is going to come back here and hit this very point. However, if this very candle forming right now did not close bearish and it flips to be a bullish candle, then this will change the game, especially if it covers this very area and close out of this fair value gap area. If we see that, then the trajectory of the market is going to change completely from being a bear drop to a bullish expansion all the way to the upside, because this very gap area have been completely closed. So this is what you need to pay attention to on the price of USDJPY 4-hour chart, especially after this very CPI data that was just released few hours ago. And this is very important. And if you look at the price of Euro USD, you discover that Euro USD have been coming back down for retracement. So of course, if market retrace after a move upward, come back down, move up, retrace, move up, retrace again. So there's a possibility on this chart that market can come back into this very point before the final move all the way to the upside. So let me mark that out to be very specific. So from here, the market have capability of dropping into this very point, okay, before the final move to the upside. That possibility is there, very high on price action, okay, for market to come back to this very area and then begin to move upward. This is very important, so pay attention to it as well. However, market have capability also to move upward from where it is right here. So the worst I am expecting on Euro USD is for the market to drop into this very area before the final move upward, or markets just move from here all the way to the upside, which is a possibility on price action right now. This is what I am personally paying attention to because of this very CPI data that was just released few hours ago, and this is very important. And another thing here is that this very month there is no Fed interest rate decision. That also means there won't be FOMC meeting, okay, that will say another major news is coming that can make the market to flip. Market is going to experience stability after the next 24 hours. In my opinion, we are going to see stability in the market in the next 1 month on Euro USD and also USDJPY. So this is what you need to pay attention to right now. On Euro USD, market is going to move upward. Worst case scenario, market come back down to this area. I will take a buy position for market to move upward. And also on USDJPY, market from here should come back down. And if we see the market close bullish above this very area, out of this very fair value gap area, then market is going to continue to be bullish in favor of the USD. However, if markets continue downward, especially this very candle forming right now close bearish, then the market is going to move all the way downward, and this is my first target. This is what I am not paying attention to on the price of USDJPY 4-hour chart and Euro USD 4-hour chart. Pay attention to all of this to be in the right direction of the market. Consider supporting this channel by leaving a like for this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification for more forex videos like this one. Also check the channel for other forex content. Join our Telegram channel for signal, technical analysis, and many more updates. Join right now, link in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment. And if you want to watch my other videos that will help you greatly on this very channel, check this video out. It's going to help you, and check this video out as well. It's going to help you too. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.